Good morning, y'all. Like 7:30 in the morning, December 16th. This is Secondhand Dan coming to you from a remote secondhand land. I thought maybe I would show you my little workshop shed. So I try and shed my inhibitions. Ha 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 ha. Very fun. All right. This shed here, I haven't even owned it for a year yet. It's secondhand. I bought it off a guy about 3 miles away. You know, we signed papers and took pictures and documented it. And I paid about half what the retail would be if you bought this thing brandy new. And I think they only had it for like 2 years. So I'm going to take you inside and outside. I'm not going to go up on the roof. It's a metal roof. It does need swept off already after being here for 1 year. I think it's covered with leaves and pine needles. Came with this ramp. I have since treated it with some redwood stain paint that I had. It was attached when I first got it, right up smack up against there, but we had to detach it to move it. And when I brought it down here, the ramp needed some of the rotten ends cut off and some of the boards refastened. So it's functional. You know, it's probably going to give me a couple of years use. But I'd say 90% of the stuff in here is me. I have bought it, and stashed it in here. When I bought this shed, it was loaded with more stuff than this. Truth be known, it was loaded with fleas too. But they have been removed. Let's start right here on this counter. If I'm going to give you the once over on this countertop here, I may as well plug in the light that's directly overhead of it. There we go, a little more lighting. Cool vintage drill press here. I bought this, I guess about 2 years ago, and had it in storage for a while. I figured the price was, you couldn't say no to. Built like a tank. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 speeds. And it's got a name on it. Homecraft. And you can clean up this badge at some point, but you know, it's a real good unit. I don't know about ultra precision work, but it's close enough for me right now. I boosted it the bottom shelf here to whenever you need a spacer, you can throw this up on top. So you don't drill into the table. You can lower the table. And it was typical. A lot of drill presses, people get carried away and they drill holes in them. I'm trying to prevent doing that any further. I believe this little unit here came with the shed. I can't be sure. I don't remember. It's not something typically I would buy, but you know, it might serve some purpose. It's got a polishing rig on it right now. You know, I've shown you that I have a propensity to buy vices. I believe this one may have come with the shed here. The shed, the shop, the shed. We're going to call it the shop. I think... actually, this one is got one screw in it, holding it down to the table. So this is probably one that came with it. And I probably picked this up at a yard sale. I have my what do you call, raccoon device here. If anything tries to crawl in these windows, it's going to land on these spikes and say, "Yow!" and jump back out. This box, which is about the size of a foot locker, that came with the shop here. I guess the reason I'm going back and forth between shop and shed is that the other guy used it largely as just a shed. I'm trying to use it as a shop. But those are all tools that I've put in there. I think if he had it full of lumber and junk. Compressor, something I bought at a yard sale. Really nice dolly here. Very nice. Aluminum, solid aluminum. Hard wheels. We have a sandy base here where I'm living right now, so this isn't the greatest when it's sandy, but it works great on any wooden surface, pavement, concrete, yada, yada, yada. It will pull across sand in a pinch, but narrow tires tend to drop down inside. Washing machine. I got to get this mug out of here. Buddy of mine who lives about half an hour away gave this to me. He had a rodent problem, and I guess the rodents were dying for a drink of water, and there's a 10-inch rubber hose, and they chewed through it, and they didn't just chew through it, they chewed like about a quarter of the body of the hose up. I don't know if they consumed it or spit it out or what, but so I'm trying to replace the hose. It's like typically average price for that hose is like $70. My little clamp collection here. Look at that one over there. It's like prehistoric. Well, it still will do a job. C-clamps. Old fan blade. That was here with the shed when I bought it. So I figure it's kind of man cave item. Leave it here. That was here when I bought the place. There was a lot of stuff when I bought it that I was able to sell and get a couple $100 back from what my original purchase price. So I'm glad he left me some stuff in here. But like I said, right now 90% of the stuff in here is me. The metal framework dolphin, that came with the shed shop. Santa Claus Express. I think I picked that up at a yard sale for $2. Trying to get in the holiday mood. This table is a beast. It is all steel construction. I came in very solid. So I think I got it for $5. How can you say no to that? You could probably rebuild a V8 on top of it. Not much for space, but very strong. And there's the guy making the video over there. This little carousel full of hardware that came with the shed shop. I mean, I've been over it, in and out, and cleaned it all out, and it wasn't disorganized when I got it. So, someplace to put some hardware right now. Picked this up at a flea market. Flea market's only like a mile away from the house here. It still takes about 10 minutes to get there because all the stop signs and lefts and rights. Coffee pot. I don't know why I have a coffee pot in here. I'm not going to be making coffee in the shop here. DeWalt radio. I believe I brought that down from Pittsburgh with me. In case you're saying, well, where are you at? I'm in a town called Homosassa, Florida. Got this toolbox 2 years ago. I think it was like $10, and it had some random tools in it. It came with this white cabinet. It's just sitting on buckets right now. I haven't, this is the first time I've opened the door since I've gotten down here, and we've been down here for a week. I cleaned it out, restocked it, paintbrushes, so I'm trying to refamiliarize myself with what's in it. I'm not even sure what's behind the other doors yet. They're blocked. This one I can get into. Cut off wheels. I know, I still consider this place to be a mess. Like I say, I haven't even had it for a year. So I've only, quote, had my hands on it for a couple of months because I'm only here for a couple of months. And so we didn't even have it for the full 6 months that we were here last year. I don't know if we had it for like 2 months. So I got a lot of tweaking yet to do on it. This is my workbench. I concocted out of some stuff laying around. Ran a 2x4 across the back. Put a couple screws in this piece of plywood. It's supported on a dresser, which supports a, I guess a 2x8 wooden box. So that's good enough for me for a while. Got a roll-up door. I guess that's for people who want to bring in their riding mowers and tillers and stuff like that. But I have no intention of putting anything like that in here on a regular basis. If I get a riding mower, I'll probably just tarp it out in the yard here. Well, let's take a look around the outside of it. Couple of concrete blocks make for an easy step up. I need to regrade and reset those. They're slightly off. They were kind of level when I first put them in, but time moves all things. You can see overall it's pretty nice. This is aluminum siding. Sitting on, I guess, like a wood, almost deck-like type base. You can see it has two main rails, one there and one over there. This thing was brought to us on a flatbed truck, much like the kind you see that hauls cars. But this one was designed just to haul sheds. So it tilted. They had a winch, and we're between tilting and winching it, we're able to drag it up onto the back of their vehicle and deliver it to us, which I think we paid about $400. Yard tools. I've been painting them white handled so as I can identify them quickly as belonging to me, because they have a tendency to be borrowed and not returned. Scrap pile. I threw that together last year. I was going to clean it up here probably in the next week. And, mostly I just try and save some of the precious metals, but the rusty metals show up too, so I got to get rid of it all because this is a bit of an eyesore. Let's go into the man door this time. Has a tendency to blow shut, so I put this bottle down here. Temporary. We'll make it look a little more professional eventually. This is a coffee table in a box, never put together. We cleaned out my daughter's storage locker in Tampa 2 years ago, and we've been trying to use it, pass it on, sell it, Actually took a couple pieces back to Pittsburgh. The daughter wanted, so I say I'd rather free up some floor space. I don't want to store that thing indefinitely. Same with the washing machine. I don't want that in storage. Once I repair it, we have a more old-fashioned washer. It has the agitator in it. This one does not have the agitator in it, so I'll be swapping them out and probably just sell the agitator model for, you know, $50 just to get it out of our life. I know it's not a very exciting video, but it's been so long since I posted anything, and I didn't want to leave a big void between videos. But like I say, this is Secondhand Dan. I buy 90% of my stuff secondhand. Compressors I bought secondhand. But yard sale. Buddy gave it to me. Table from a yard sale. Grinder from a flea market. Toolbox from a yard sale. Well, I appreciate your taking a gander. I'm going to try and make more interesting videos in the future. I'm still working with a phone camera. I want to try and work with the GoPro, but I think you have to load the GoPro onto the computer and do some editing. And now I got to tinker with the doing that, because I've got nobody to walk me through it other than YouTube. But it's still great to have somebody that's actually hands-on, looking over your shoulder and giving you pointers. But I'll figure it out eventually. But right now I'm still working with the cell phone. Well, it's a beautiful morning in the neighborhood. I'm liking it. It's probably about 60 degrees right now. It's definitely overcast. We're expecting a day's worth of rain here. I don't have a problem with that. Like saying, every life a little rain must fall. Well, I'm looking forward to the rest of this day. So, thank you everybody for visiting me here. This is Secondhand Dan signing off. Bye, y'all.